So all of those things you just mentioned, accurate. And I've been trying to think of when reading the book, are those things obvious or are they supposed to be not obvious?
I didn't read them at the time as obvious, and now that we're, like, reviewing this, I'm like, "Oh." Hey, everyone. I'm Becca, he's Matt, and this is Book Love Podcast. And welcome back to our buddy read of The Nightingale Mysteries by Katharine Schellman.
Today, we're diving into part 1 of book 2, The Last Drop of Hemlock. We read chapters 1 through 19, and I guess what do you think so far, Becca?
I'm really enjoying the book. I think the last chapter we read, though, we maybe are moving a little out of cozy and maybe more cozy adjacent. It just had a
Maybe
good pitter-patter going. There was no problems, just a little pitter-patter.
a little bit. It's were you able to get into this one really quickly?
It's much, but I also have a lot of things going on right now.
I think so. Like with book 1, I think I was grabbed like within the first chapter or two. And I think this one took me about 100 and like 30, 140 pages before I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. uh, but I like it. I I like that it's not connected to the Nightingale. Well, at least not yet.
For the murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of outside of the Nightingale, so it's completely different in that regard
We're
to book
growing
1.
our world.
Yeah. I do feel a little stupid that I don't think I know enough about New York City history to quite understand where things are and what the different neighborhoods mean.
No, I don't even know where
But
the current neighborhoods are. I know they're a thing. I know they're important. I know boroughs have distinct personalities.
mhm. I think I want to say we're in Manhattan. I think there's that somewhere. And I want to say that Vivian and Florence's apartment area is like the southeast side of Central Park, but I still don't really know what that means.
No, I know that they live in a poorer neighborhood, but I also don't associate that with close to Central Park.
Yeah. I think it's enough that I understand poverty and racism and classism to I get the dynamics.
Yes, she sets that up very nicely.
Um, but we get some new characters in this one.
We do.
What do you think of the addition of the new characters?
Which one in particular?
I guess we could talk about Pearly, Uncle Pearly, and we could talk about, I guess, his boo, Alba.
I have so many questions about why Pearlie came. And then Alba, I'm like, how and why? Because we get potentially a 20-year age gap, I think, between the two of them and a race gap.
Mm-hmm. I think.
But they live in the same apartment complex, so then proximity makes sense.
Well, sort of. I mean, Alba lives in the same apartment as B and her family, but Pearly had his own apartment. Although I guess Pearly did live with the Henrys before he got his own apartment. So
Yeah, if it's not the
you're
same
right.
building, it's the, like, neighboring building. They're close.
I feel like the author did a good job with the new like Alba is what she is. She is tangential to Uncle Pearly, but I feel like Katharine Schellman did a pretty good job inventing this new character out of thin air for no reason.
I don't know if it's for no reason. I think we're
Well, I
gonna
mean,
get
it's
reason.
it's for reason, but I mean, it doesn't feel like he was invented out of the blue. It feels like
Yes,
he's
it
sort
feels
of
that
been
way.
there with the family. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I have a lot of thoughts on like the mystery and the
Yeah.
scam going on, but maybe we should recap
Recap.
the first 19 chapters first.
Sounds great.
So you should start us off there, sister.
Our story opens with Vivian Kelly waiting tables at the Nightingale, wondering why her best friend, the singer in the band, Beatrice, is over an hour late for work.
But just then, B rushes in. Before jumping on stage, she explains that her Uncle Pearlie has died.
If you're wondering who Uncle Pearlie is, so are we. Bay's father, B's father's brother is from Baltimore and has been in town for only a few months and has been working as one of the Nightingale's bouncers.
The doctor says that it was suicide, but B knows better. Someone must have offed him.
Understandably, Vivian is a bit shook up. After B jumps on the stage and starts singing, one thing leads to another, and Honor, the Nightingale's owner, wants to talk to B and Vivian.
In the dressing room behind the bar, Honor is kind, sympathetic, and loyal. She hears B's story and tells her to go home, be with her family, bury her uncle. You know, just take a week off. Something I can't even fathom a modern day employer allowing or offering.
B accepts, but also asks Honor for help. She knows things and people. Honor says she'll do what she can, and Vivian also says she'll see what favor she can call in. And we all know what that means. Leo.
The next day, after her deliveries are complete for Miss Ethel, Vivian heads over to Leo's place. Before he can call in a favor, though, Leo needs to know that the juice is worth the squeeze. So a reluctant bee shows Vivian and Leo her Uncle Pearlie's apartment the next day.
The apartment's not much, but Vivian notices the expensive suit, silk ties, and handkerchiefs, wondering where he's got this money. Turns out, Pearlie had recently received a hefty payout from a mob boss, and that's when Pearlie's girlfriend and coworker at the Nightingale, Alba Diaz, shows up.
Is she a coworker at the Nightingale? Why did I write that? It was Alba is mortified by what she just overheard or thinks she overheard and runs away before anyone can talk to her. Not suspicious at all.
B eventually shows them the hidey hole behind the wall in the wall behind the bed, but the money isn't there. Instead, there's only a bottle of booze and an envelope containing a thank you note signed simply H.
Ooh, red herring. Um, Leo and B systematically search the rest of the apartment for another hiding spot, but they're not able to find anything else. And that's when B's beau, Abraham, shows up on the scene.
He's, of course, only there looking to ensure she gets home safely, but becomes extremely skeptical about what they're doing. He pleads with B to drop it before she gets involved in something dangerous.
Vivian and Leo depart, definitely not wanting to get in the middle of that. Leo confides in Vivian that the juice is indeed worth the squeeze, and he's going to go ahead and call in his favor with the medical examiner.
The next day, Vivian drops off some food for the grieving Henry family.
Mrs. Henry is comforting a clearly depressed Alba. When B suggests that they wait to claim Uncle Pearlie's bodies, so that Leo can call in his favor, Alba flies into a frenzied fit as it dawns on her that nobody thinks Pearlie unalived himself.
Vivian slips out and meets Leo at the medical examiner's office, where they learn that Pearlie's bottle of brandy was poisoned with arsenic. Thankfully, they agree to keep it away from the cops.
Back at B's place, Dr. Harris, another new character, is tending to, and get this, a pregnant Alba, while Vivian tells B what she learned from the coroner, which Dr. Harris overhears.
At first, he admonishes them, but eventually comes around to the evidence. He tells them that he's had several patients in the neighborhood that have received threatening letters requesting cooperation or to be poisoned.
As a kicker, Dr. Harris also knows what can happen when you get involved with the mob because of his father and his brother. And then before he leaves, he oddly inquires after Florence, requesting Vivian give her his regards.
That night at the Nightingale, Vivian isn't herself. She's distracted. She tries to focus on work but keeps messing up orders. Honor finds Vivian asking her to dance so they can talk.
As one does. After learning what Vivian had discovered, Honor asks how she can help, and Vivian asks her to set up a meeting with Hattie Wilson.
When the song ends, the two notice Abraham at the bar, and that's pretty odd.
Apparently, Bee wanted to come to the Nightingale, and Abraham just wants Vivian to talk some sense into her. But that's not exactly possible because Bee is chatting up with a Mr. Guzman about Uncle Pearlie.
Mr. Guzman is a full of cautionary tales about the mysterious letters, prompting Bee to leave with Abraham so she can discover if Pearlie ever received such a letter.
After deflecting all of Flo's questions about what's going on with Vivian, the sisters take lunch over to the Henry household the next morning.
There, they learn two things. Alba has been kicked out of her parents' place, unmarried pregnancy and all. And Pearlie did indeed receive one of those threatening letters. They also stumbled upon some interesting sketchbooks.
Bee and Vivian escort Alba back upstairs to the Henry household, where Florence is entertaining the children by telling them all about a dress she'd recently been sewing. And Abraham is worriedly waiting for Bee.
Bee hands Abraham all of Pearlie's stuff so she can situate Alba in one of the bedrooms. Abraham finds the letter almost immediately and nearly makes a big scene in front of Flo and the kids.
On the way back to their apartment, Vivian tries her damnedest to convince Flo that the Nightingale isn't some den of iniquity where she's going to end up pregnant like Alba. Flo seems pretty certain, though. At home, the two are startled when Danny knocks on the door.
After shamelessly flirting with Florence, he delivers a covert message from Honor that Hattie Wilson will be at the club that evening, and Flo decides that she will go to the Nightingale as well.
And Flo is so embarrassed by what she sees at the Nightingale. Women dancing together, men without their jackets on, their sleeves are rolled up. She's ready to go home and call it quits when Danny asks her to dance.
After finishing her third flute of champagne, Vivian heads up to Honor's office to meet with Hattie, where we learn almost nothing.
Vivian has her write something down so that she can compare it to the letters, and she even asks Hattie directly if she did it. Like, it was not Hattie. What's happening is not a message. It's someone trying to keep it hush-hush.
After Hattie leaves, Vivian decides to blow up at Honor for reasons probably to let the readers know there's still romantic tension in there.
Vivian decides to chat up bouncer Silence Silas about Uncle Pearlie since Florence is still dancing with Danny. Man, it must be like his third break or something.
From Silas, Vivian learns that maybe Pearlie wasn't too loyal to Honor, working other jobs and trying to get Silas to join him.
Just then, Flo is back, and she's tired from all the fun. Saying goodbye to Danny, the two sisters go home early.
The next day is a typical Sunday morning, church followed by groceries for Miss Thomas. What's unexpected is what happens next.
Vivian runs into Dr. Harris in the hall, who inquires about Florence again. But then they're interrupted when another tenant smells gas.
Vivian, Dr. Harris, and Will burst through the window of widow, not window, widow. How do you
Widow
say it?
Kaminsky,
Kaminsky, thank you.
I
I was like,
think.
I haven't decided how to say this last name. Kaminsky's door to find the pilot on her stove going, the window shut, and the widow herself unalived from the gas. The building is evacuated and the police are called.
Dr. Harris takes it pretty hard. After all, he should have checked up on her more because she was becoming mentally infirm and complaining about her mail. And Florence noticed that her candlesticks were missing.
Clearly, the widow had received letters and paid the price.
When the all clear is given to re enter the building, Vivian goes upstairs with Florence, who just got their mail, and in it is a letter addressed to Florence.
The letter tells Flo to steal the bedazzled dress from Miss Ethel's shop. Or else. Who could have overheard Flo telling the Henry children about this dress?
Flo thinks it's a joke, but Vivian knows better, and out comes the whole story. And Florence is irate for being left in the dark again. And then she gets scared.
Vivian has them pack a suitcase and calls in a favor to Leo and takes Flo to the safest place in New York she can think of, the Nightingale.
But Honor thinks it's way too obvious of a hideout, so she hands them a stack of cash, how cool was that, and ships them downtown where Danny convinces his parents to let the Kelly sisters crash for a while.
Just as Vivian is heading to work at the Nightingale, Leo arrives with an update on the favor she asked him to do, but couldn't do because someone broke into the medical examiner's office and stole the bottle of poisoned brandy.
Feeling like she's out of options, Vivian goes to work, where she asks Honor if she knows how to pick a lock.
After last call, Leo stands outside Miss Ethel's shop as a lockout, while Honor picks the lock at the cellar door.
After easing the door to the ground, Vivian leads the way through the shop, opening the safe and collecting the dress. And as they begin to sneak out again, a flashlight darts through one of the windows.
The cops begin yelling through the windows, swearing they saw movement, but then Leo comes strolling along, drunkenly singing.
While the cops are distracted, Honor and Vivian slip into the back of the shop. Just as Honor and Vivian escape back into the alley, the cops break a window and burst into Miss Ethel's.
Before they can get away, the cops come rushing out of the shop and around to the alley, but Leo strolls back with his drunken singing.
Annoyed, the cops arrest him, allowing Honor and Vivian to flee to the drop site, the front porch of Vivian's building.
After convincing Honor to part ways, Vivian places the dress at the drop site and goes inside to Widow Kaminsky's apartment where she can keep watch.
Soon, a man appears, retrieves the dress, and takes off. Vivian, intelligently, immediately darts out of the building in pursuit, but soon realizes that someone else is pursuing her.
She halts and turns around in time to see a man running after her. He pulls a gun, and just as he fires, Honor crashes into him. The man curses and sprints away, dropping his gun. Honor, relieved that Vivian is alive, exuberantly kisses her.
That was fun. When she pulls away, stunned Vivian picks up the gun, which, by the way, turns out to be a very special make specifically for undercover police officers.
Honor hustles her into a cab and drives into Honor's safe house apartment. With an odd mix of adrenaline and exhaustion, the two climb on top of the bed, fully clothed, and find to sleep.
Vivian awakes the next morning before Honor does. She attempts to sneak out of the small apartment, but opening the door wakes up Honor.
Our story comes to a pause as the two make eye contact for a moment before Vivian closes the door and leaves without saying anything.
I don't know about you, Becca, but I'm not usually the type of person to purchase add-ons like warranties.
I hear you. The world is just too expensive to be throwing money around. But sometimes you do need a little peace of mind, you know?
For sure. And that's why today's episode is sponsored by the Smoking Gun Company's newest offering in literary insurance, Chekov's Warranty.
To all mystery writers, did you introduce a firearm in Chapter 3? And another in Chapter 18? Was one of them already fired? Are you sure which one to use again? To satisfy your contractual writing obligations?
Don't panic and don't worry. The Smoking Gun Company's certified narrative technicians will inspect your plot devices and determine whether additional firing or outright smoking is required to satisfy literary expectations.
Every Chekov's warranty comes with full coverage of discoveries, misfires, symbolic usage, and situations where firearms in question become just another clue. They'll even add in complimentary fingerprint dust when you sign up.
And extended protection plans for writers who accidentally introduce too many suspicious objects, like knives, letters, or mysterious keys, are also available.
But it's not all about rectifying mistakes. Industry experts are standing by to proactively certify that your literary weapons as narratively compliant.
Closure shouldn't come with guesswork, and neither should peace of mind. Check out Chekov's warranty by the Smoking Gun Company today and tell them that the Book Club podcast sent you.
And now, back to the show.
Man, I'll tell you what, that eye contact where Honor's just laying in the bed, silent, staring her down. I was like, is this romantic or is this like
Threatening.
threatening and ominous?
Both?
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I always want to talk about the last thing that we read first,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like maybe we should like just talk about the scandal and the con going on here. So, in short, right, somebody is writing or is essentially stalking people to learn about their valuables and then writing them a letter saying, give me your valuables or else. And the or else is poisoning the people.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
And we know there's probably some inside police connection. As always, we know that police are typically corrupt. So,
Mm-hmm. Is do we think that poison is very typically a woman's weapon? Do we think that is the case here in any way, shape, or form?
our last book had a female mobster. So, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to continue with the female mobster vibes in this book, or if that's actually the whole point and we're flipping it on its head and we now have a male who's using a female cover.
Yeah, I mean, we very clearly have two men that are working together at the drop sites.
Mm-hmm.
But if we've learned anything within the universe of the Nightingale, men are stupid and women are smart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So- okay, so we have what are some of the clues we have? Okay, so we have that gun that
Yes.
and is the gun what makes you think we have a police insider?
Yes.
Okay. Um, we have the bottle of booze, and I think the bottle of booze is a clue because it points to somebody in the know of, the black market alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So we have I don't necessarily want to talk about H because I think that's just a misleading thing, but we have the letters that always seem to be written childishly. How is that described in your head?
It was like big block letters. Like I imagine it was like newspaper clippings, like cut out. I didn't imagine it necessarily as a actual handwriting.
Okay. So that doesn't tell us anything. And then I suppose the only other clues we have is um who could possibly know about Uncle Pearlie's money and the dress from Miss Ethel's.
Mm-hmm.
So off the I- I'm thinking the suspects are including Dr. Harris, Abraham, and Alba. Do you have anybody to add to that list?
I mean, I don't want to say B's mom, but maybe B's mom. Could be Alba's parents. Alba might be a little loose with her lips.
I well, let's go. We don't really know anything about Mrs. Henry, and we don't know anything about Alba's parents or grandparents or whomever she was living with. So it's hard to talk about them. What are you thinking about Alba?
I actually want to start with Dr. Harris
Oh, let's start with Dr. Harris. Hell yeah.
because we know that he has a family history of mobsters. So we know that he knows how these things work. He also has medical training, so he knows how poisons work.
Mm-hmm.
He's also often frequently visiting these folks to help them out. So he would know their life stories, their life possessions, their important things. And he sounded maybe a little butthurt that he maybe is making a lot less money than he could.
I I have been trying to think. Like, they were obvious to me, but then again, I read and take notes while I read, so it's like you read something and you write it down.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm trying to think, is it obvious? Because if it's obvious, that makes me feel like it's a red herring. But if it's not supposed to be
Then,
obvious, oh, now
then
we
it's a
have all
plot.
of the breadcrumbs. I don't like Dr. Harris. I don't like him at all. Um, but okay, we also have Abraham. What kind of vibes do you get from this dude? Because
We know so little.
at the end of book one, you were like, "Oh, being Abraham is so sweet," and I was like, "I know, right? It's so sweet." And now
And
I
now
just
in
think
this
he's
book, it doesn't feel that way,
no, he kind of feels like a jerk.
right? Like he feels protective and controlling in the most useless of ways in this culture.
Mm-hmm. Sure. What do we know about Abraham? He was around
Hmm.
like every time important information was being shared. He seemed to always get upset when he overheard evidence about, the letters and the poison.
Yep.
And we know he drives a cab
Yep.
and his routes are usually in the middle of the night.
Yes. When people will probably tell you lots of things. We also know that he had enough money to buy a book of poetry, which I don't think a cab driver in that time frame typically would.
So are they working together?
I mean, someone's informing someone.
I'm trying to think of other characters that we've run into. And I think the only thing that I can think of is that at the Nightingale one evening, I think it was the one where Honor asked Vivian to dance with her. Before that could happen, there was some guy in a gray suit who was like smiling at Vivian. And before he could ask her to dance, Honor showed up.
Hmm.
Who is this guy? Why the hell did the author tell us about him?
Great questions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Our last one you've listed is Alba, and that one I have a really hard time believing.
Yeah, yeah.
And people at this point in time, this point in history who are poor, generally didn't off their partner.
Although maybe she didn't know she was pregnant.
Touche.
I mean, I guess she would have known about Florence's dress,
Hmm.
but I don't know how she would have known about the widow Kaminsky or the candlesticks.
That's the one that's really throwing me off.
I don't know
Because
how
we also
Abraham
don't
would know
know
about that either.
exactly. We don't know if Abraham would have been,
Dr. Harris would have been in the know because,
he would have spent time there caring for her.
yeah, I, part of me feels like the people responsible for this we haven't met yet
Hmm.
because, like, who was Uncle Pearlie working for and trying to pull Silas over into, and why is it a detail that matters? But I really don't like Dr. Harris. I mean, I like him. He's fine, but like,
Yeah.
I don't get good vibes from that dude.
See, I get okay vibes from him. That's why I'm like, I hate saying this.
See, I don't get good vibes from him just because he's like, "Hey, how's Flo doing?" Like, okay,
See,
creepster.
that's why I'm like, I think everyone in this book's interested in Flo. Danny's interested, the doc's interested,
That's true. Hey,
and the
by the
doc saw
way,
her after she shot someone.
wasn't Flo like this like homely, nunly figure in book one? When did she get her glow up?
Obviously, in this book.
I guess okay. Speaking of flow, Danny and Florence. What do you think of
Adorbs.
this?
Dorbs.
I like it. I think it gives me all the warm and fuzzies that that Flo is the kind of girl that nobody's ever looked at twice, or at least
Mhm.
in her memory. And now she's just getting all this attention, and that gives me all the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, I'm excited for her.
um, we already kind of talked about being Abraham.
Mhm.
I guess we
Is it
should talk
Vivian
about
and
the
Honor, or is it Vivian and Leo?
yeah, or is I don't know. I really like Vivian and Honor.
I was
I
gonna say
like
I think
Leo,
we're winning out this time.
but I like Honor, and I feel like Honor's walls are crumbling on down.
Mhm, mhm.
I don't know that scene where Honor like comes out of the dark and crashes into the gunman, and then kisses her. I'm like,
Yep,
how cinematic is that?
right? These books need to be movies.
I think they would be very fun movies.
Mhm.
I think they could be like the like 75-minute kind of
Yes.
movies. They don't even need to be super long and drawn out. They could be a little
Yeah,
kitschy, a little
yeah,
campy.
like Knives Out, the Glass Onion kinda style.
Mhm. That'd be great. Hey, Katharine Schellman, what I know you just got a book extension for your Regency mysteries with Lily Aldler, but what are you doing with these with this intellectual property? Have you been circulating this to Hollywood? Because it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I would definitely go to the movies for that.
Um, so we're leaving off with the Vivian leaving Honor's like safe house one room apartment.
Mhm.
Where are you emotionally?
Very, very nervous, especially because we have to go back to Miss Ethel's after the break-in.
Dude, that was a pretty well written scene. I don't think I summarized that one too hot.
Yeah, because people have to read it. I
Yeah.
was terrified the whole time.
It was like really good. And like with the like brick through the window
Mhm.
and good on Leo. Good on Leo just acting like a drunk when being drunk is illegal. What a good guy.
Right?
And I think there was a line where Honor was like referred to Leo as, you know, your fella, your fella. And
Mhm.
Vivian's like, he's not my fella. And Honor
Yep.
was like, and I was like, ooh, ooh, that sounded loaded.
Huh? Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Ethel's got ya all worked up. And did then the outside of Vivian's apartment, did that get you all worked up?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for what's to come.
What do you think is gonna come? Or what do you want to come?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that it's what I want to come, but I think Miss Ethel's gonna fire them.
Speaking of which, I guess one thing we didn't ever talk about was Florence's experience at the Nightingale. Do you think that was like a one and done, or is that an introduction for the reader so that Flo can always be at the Nightingale?
I was gonna say, I think Flo and Danny are gonna hit it off in the next 100 pages
Ooh, that
because
would be
Danny's
great,
mom
wouldn't it?
was a fan of the Kelly sisters. That's always a good sign.
Hmm. I wonder, you think like Flo moves in with the Chens and Vivian moves in with Honor or something, and the
Maybe.
Kelly sisters stop living together?
And maybe the fact that they get fired isn't a problem because then Flo can just work at the restaurant and Vivian's just stuck
Already
at the
got her
night.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't like Miss Ethel. Do you think this love triangle gets resolved in any way, shape, or form by the end of this book, or
Nah,
we got 2 more books?
we got 2 more books. I don't even know that this left triangle gets resolved by the end of the series, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we might live with this one.
Do you think Leo ever develops feelings for Honor? And then the 3 are just happy?
That would be a true love triangle then, because we call them love triangles, but usually they're just lines.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like in Lightlark when you have Grim, uh, what's her face, and Oro. I honestly can't remember her name right now. What's her name?
Isla. Isla.
Isla. Yeah, it that's a straight plane with 3 dots on it.
Yep, yep.
I hear you.
But she's got a lot to wrap up in 100 pages. I'm excited. It's gonna be a quick read to the finish.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. I think I might go finish that either tonight or first thing in the morning. Um, yeah, I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. I suppose one thing that I personally want in the second half of this book, I want Mags to come back some.
Oh.
I don't know how she does, but Mags was awesome.
Yeah, I miss her.
And well, I guess I don't know if there's much more to talk about. Maybe it's time to throw a bookmark in this one.
Sounds good. We'll be back next week with part 2 of call call drop The Last Drop of Hemlock. Sometimes I shouldn't just read what's right on there. Where we read chapters 20 through the end.
Trust Matt. Screw that guy. Anyways, don't forget to comment or send us an email. Our contact information is down in the description below.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.
See ya.
Bye.